Today's workout is Sculpt for abs. We're using no equipment, just body weight. And we're gonna start, I'm crouching down here on the ground because we're gonna start on the floor. And loosening up the low back to begin. So if you relax on your back just for a moment, bring the arms out with your knees bent. And we're gonna, what I like to call windshield wiper, the knees back and forth from right to left. And this is also just a chance to check in with how your back is feeling, mobility through the spine, and make sure that there's no kinks there. And we want to make sure everything is feeling good and everything is ready for this workout. And after one more here, I'm going to bring the legs straight out. And we are going to go into our first set of crunches, but we're going to really isolate and use some, we're going to facilitate the crunch with the arms. So when I go to sit up, I want you to make sure you're also doing this. Pull your belly button, consciously pull it down into the floor, chin towards the neck. We roll up. You can use a little bit of momentum from the arms to help you come up. And once you get to the top, we're going to take an extra second to pull the ankle as close to your face as you can without rounding your back. And then come down one vertebrae at a time on the floor. Reach the arms over your head and then repeat. So I just really slowed down that first one. I'm going to talk you through the objectives. And then you can pick up the pace as needed. See if you can start playing around with your arm position, making it a little bit more challenging for the abs. Exhale all the way up. So the closer your arms, biceps stay towards your ears, the more challenging that'll be just because there's more weight overhead. More weight in the abdominals on the way up. We're now pulled in even a little tighter. We're going to do one more on each leg. So just squeezing in a little bit of hip mobility, stretching through the glutes like this is also really good for the low back, which is then in turn going to help us move even more efficiently through our ab work today. So we're going to be doing a lot of tucks. So that means lots of lower ab muscle activation coming into this. Slowly come down, last time even slower than before. This will be the last one, coming all the way down. And then once your head is on the floor here, we're going to keep the head down, bring your knees up to your chest, pull them in for a little hug, wiggling right and left, and then arms down on the floor. All right, so palms are up though, palms up, pushing the back of the hands to the floor, chip down to the neck. And we're going to gently bring the knees as close as you can towards the shoulders, and then back down. So rolling up, rolling down. So depending on flexibility in the low back and in the middle back today, really through the whole spine, that could determine how high you're lifting. Also, the weight of your legs will make a big impact here. So we're going for time. We've got 10 seconds left. You're trying not to lift the head, so we're just isolating the lower abdominals. If it feels tired for you, you might even just be contracting the hip bones an inch closer to the front of the ribs. That's just fine. One more here. And all the way down. As long as you're feeling the muscles around and below the belly button activating, you're doing it right, okay? Part two. Upper body. So gently bring the hands behind your head, but not interlacing the fingers. It's too tempting to pull on the head there. Exhale up as high as you can. Once you get to the top, bring the knees in again, and then come back down. So it's roll up, lift up, feet down, head back. Roll up, lift up. Okay, so continuing for another 30 seconds. As you go, please make sure you're not allowing your lower back to flatten to the ground when the upper body comes up. When the lower body comes up, you can flatten it. So that's the brain gym part of this. So as you're lifting the upper body, I'll leave a little mouse house in your upper back, but then when you lift the lower body, then you collapse the mouse house. So if you think of it as a blueberry under your belly button, don't squeeze the juice, but then when the knees come up, you can squeeze the juice, flatten it out. One more here. Knees down. Excellent. We're going to go back to legs, or the upper body down. Legs up, feet towards the ceiling. And lower body, gently pressing that lower back towards the floor. Not really tight, but just gently. One leg down, then the other leg down, and then both legs, but only as low as you can without lifting your chin and without arching your back. So single, single, double. Good. This one is a good one to do with your eyes closed so that you can really feel what's happening in that lower back. We're trying not to allow the lower back to arch any more than a neutral curve. And if you're feeling it a lot in the hip flexors, the front of the hip, front of the thigh, keep a little bit more of a bend in the knees the entire time. It's really targeting those lower abs again. Good, last one here. And then keep the legs straight up. We're gonna bring the hands back behind the head, alternating a reach and a twist. Reach and a twist. So this one again, trying not to allow that lower back to flatten into the floor. Just generally, when the upper body is doing the crunch, we're not allowing the lower back to flatten. And when the lower body is the one doing the movement, we are trying to keep the back a little bit flatter. And it's just because they're opposite ends of the spine and they affect the spine in opposite ways. So that's why it's black on one and white on the other, basically. 3, 2, 1. Good. Head comes back down. We're going to leave the head down. And now we're going to see if we can bring the tuck a little bit more. So the first time we were targeting knees towards the shoulders. This time we're going to try targeting knees towards the elbows. So I want you to bring your hands to the floor, even just knuckles to the floor behind your head. And then we're going to roll up and then back down. So even if you just feel like you're getting up a little bit higher than last time. Good, rolling up. So I've had people do this one before with their hands underneath the couch. If you feel like you need a little bit of extra support, basically you just do a little bit of the work with your arms that way, or with your fingers tucked under a heavy dumbbell. So if you're having a hard time coming up high enough, you could do that. 5 seconds left. Or if it's just a little bit too tight for your neck and shoulders, make it smaller. It's still great. Last one here. And then all the way down. Awesome. Now we're going to turn over onto our hands and feet, plank position. Continuing with those tucks though. So coming up, plank position, wrists are just underneath the shoulders. Belly button pulls up to the low back. Good, holding, holding, holding. And then take your right knee to your right elbow and switch. Left knee, left elbow. Nice and slow. Really squeeze. So knee toward the elbow and then squeeze them together. Squeeze them together. One more on each side. And come right down to the knees and turn over onto your back again. Okay, this time the legs are going to be extended for the 4-part ab crunches. So start with your hands underneath your hips if that's comfortable for you. And we're going to begin by bringing the chin to the neck, lift the head and shoulders, then squeeze the ankles together, legs up. Legs down, cut back. Up. Down, down, if it's not comfortable. So having your hands under your hips just facilitates a healthy position for the lower back. But if you'd much rather have your hands out, it's totally fine. Just make it work for you. Okay, here's the important thing as well. Exhale as the head comes up. Add the tongue to the roof of the mouth while the head is elevated. Try to keep the chin pulled in towards the throat so you're able to lengthen the back of the neck. Lift up through the crown of the head. Good, 5 seconds left. Are you starting to feel those abs? I certainly hope so. And rest your head. You're gonna bring the arms out from underneath. And then take your palms, just with your thumbs up. We're gonna slide the upper body sideways to grab the outside of one ankle, back to center, head down, other side, slide. So imagine trying to squeeze the side of your ribs, the bottom side of the ribs, towards your hip on that side. If your head or neck needs a little support, you can leave one hand behind your head as you reach towards the ankle. You want to feel that squeeze on the side. So your nose is up, pointing up towards the ceiling the entire time. And then you're just going sideways. Sideways. So opening the other side, rib to the hip, closing the opposite side. 10 seconds. Inhale to the middle, exhale to the side, 5 seconds. Last one here. And back to center, excellent. Rest your head to the floor. We're going again with those tucks. So both hands behind the head, little crunch. So shoulders are up, head is up. We're gonna kick the legs out and in. Start nice and high. And then start to bring your legs a little lower. As soon as you start to feel the burn, that's where you want to hold. So if you go too low, the lower back will be arching, possibly feeling uncomfortable, so don't go too low. But go low enough to feel the uncomfortable burn in the ab muscles. Okay, hang in there. Go as slow as you need to. Good. Keep resting the head a little bit in the fingertips. Absolutely not pulling on the neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then rest the head. Oh, so good. Okay, bringing both knees up to the chest and keep the hands behind the head. Bicycle crunches right to left. Right to left. So again, here, the higher you kick the foot, the easier it's going to be. And you'll still be working those ab muscles. Find the spot that gives you the best form and no pain in that low back, still working. Okay, so moving forward, last 10 seconds, see if you can do a little bit more of the reach from the elbow, from the upper body, a little bit less from the legs coming forward. 3, 2, 1, and then all the way back down. Big stretch, big inhale. Good, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen before we go into another set of our tucks from hands and feet turning over. Back to our plank position. All right, this time we're gonna be crossing over. So right knee towards the left elbow. So first just holding that strong plank. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Tuck and twist and back. Tuck and twist and back, nice and slow. Lots of time under tension with that. Lots of time on just one leg. And the squeeze, slow and strong. Can you keep your shoulders directly over the wrists the entire time? Can you keep your nose in between the thumbs the entire time? 8 seconds. Last one here, and down. Oh, woo! Feeling that. Hope I'm not the only one. We're going on our back again. Okay, so from on our back, this time we're doing a full sit-up. So legs can be out straight. Arms overhead. And we're going to come all the way up. Use your arms as much or as little as possible to get yourself up. Once you're up, we're going to come down really slow. 30 seconds like that. Every single time, try to have your belly button bullet, like a bullet, towards the floor behind you. So right here, belly button goes through your spine toward the floor. Slowly coming back down. Good, as slow as you can. Take all the time in the world here. Resist, resist, resist. Coming up strong. Okay, we're almost there. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then hold at the top. Bend the knees with your feet at hip width apart. We're going to take the hands together. So I want you to see if you can keep the ribs elevated. Just the opposite of crunching. So the back is straight. And then lean back, maybe touching one elbow to the floor. Coming back up, touch the elbows to your knees. And then left elbow to the floor on the left, elbows to the knees. So we're back, twist, and then up. If it's too far down, extend the arm and touch the floor as far as you can reach and then come back. So this would be like a modification, twist and touch, come back up, twist and touch, come back up, and then working your way up to the elbow coming down. If you have long arms, then this is your lucky day, your lucky moment. That is definitely not the case for me, according to every shirt, sweater, blouse in my closet. Not long arms. one more on each side. There it is. Okay. Same sort of theme with keeping that tight core. So slowly come all the way back down to the floor. And then you can actually extend the legs straight. Lift your upper body, but with your arms at your side. So palms facing up, chin towards the neck. And then we're going to lift the legs off the floor. Keep them as low as possible, but don't let that lower back arch. And then keeping this position, we're going to rock. Rock. Forward and back. Forward and back. If you need to take a break, take it, but try to keep that same hollow shape. So really hollowing out the belly, hollowing out the chest. Eyes looking down to see that hollow space, as hollow as you can make it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bend the knees. Bring the knees in for a stretch. I'm laughing because of how much I'm feeling this. Total fire in my abs. All right, we're moving on again. Legs come up with the knees a little bit bent. So 90 degrees, kind of tabletop, arms out, nice and wide. Anchor your shoulder blades on the floor and the back of your head. Keep a small space between the knees. Rotate your hips as far as you can to the right without lifting the left shoulder blade, and then come past the middle to the left. And we're going to go right, and we're going to go left. Okay, it's like you're lying on your back on the driver's seat with your feet on the steering wheel. Across, across. Good, so again, checking in with the shoulder blades. They need to be nailed down on the floor. You're only going as far over with the legs as you can without lifting the shoulder blade. And then to come back up, it's pull the belly button hard into that low back. Push the arms and the upper body into the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Woo! Amazing. One last time, turning over onto our hands. Okay. Grand finale before the well-deserved stretch on this one. holding that plank position. Yep, so all the parts of the plank perfected. You'll go sideways so it's easier to see. We're not rounding the upper back, but we're not letting it sink either. Just holding firm, neutral, strong on the shoulders. Good, feet are just hip width apart. Body weight in every fingertip, not just in the heels of the hands. Chin up towards the neck, out through the crown. Now we're ready to toe tap the right foot to the right and the left foot to the left without moving any other muscle. Good, bracing really strong. We're building up that core stability to keep a strong spine, because we want a strong spine so that we can house the spinal cord, which is attached to the brain, all the nerves. And in the meantime, those muscles that are protecting and strengthening the spine are also toning up, firming up. 3, 2, 1, and then bend the knees. Oh, sit the hips back. Hips back, arms forward. Trying to get that nice, easy stretch in the lower back. And then come forward until your belly button, your hip bones are on the floor, feet together. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders and press, or rather lift the chest upward. And then isometrically pull the hips forward towards the elbows back towards the hips. See if you can lengthen through the upper abdominals, maybe right down to the belly button. Pushing the shoulders down your back. And then bring your upper body right back down towards the floor. We're going to press up onto the hands and knees. Extend your right leg out, your right arm up, so now you just have your left limbs on the floor, and take the right arm over your head. Good, rotating the chest and the hip towards the ceiling. A big open stretch from the hip through the abdomen, out through the fingertips. Add one more deep breath here and then switch. Left arm extends, or left leg. Left arm stretch, reach down overhead. You're gonna make sure you're adding that rotation of the hip and the chest towards the ceiling on the inhale. Reaching out through the fingertips and the toe. One last inhale here, or one last super deep one. Hopefully we never have a last inhale. And then coming all the way back up. Okay, it was short and sweet, but very on point. Hopefully you will think of me and this workout when you're laughing later. Very good work.